Shit is embarrassing. Got people thinking you a part of my fucking program and you doing shit like that, you're disqualified the fastest way.
They randomly stop me on the quarter deck and say you're on restrictions type shit, but they really tackle me. Look up like I got a bruise on my arm. They try to stop me, all that shit.
Brand new titties, everything I want.
This Navy never stopped me, so keep with me. Bye, y'all.
Let's make this girl a little more famous, because if you guys missed that video, it had almost 200,000 likes on how she was being kicked out of the military. Now, it appears that the ship and where she was stationed at, there's people that have wrote me and were like, dude, your video was the talk of the town. And I'm like, yeah, obviously. But to find out she had a lot of other issues that were even deeper than what we showed on that video is insane. And I don't know if being kicked out of the military is necessarily a flex. And here she says, me getting kicked out knowing I never had to get OC sprayed, which is like pepper sprayed, but worse.
Queen shit, bitch.
She also says how I walked back on the boat after people got views by posting videos of me. Also, let's kind of take you with your two hats this way, because obviously you're making fun of regulations and whatever else, and you really don't care about military service. Imagine even doing this at McDonald's.
You've done a hell of a lousy job. You're late. You're fired. Get out of here.
Let's just be honest, to some degree, that, you know, you're going to have a tough time handling even being on time, doing your job, whatever else. And that is no secret. But let's roll into the next clip, as some people think that military service should be for everybody. And remember this girl, for example.
I would advocate for, if I had 5 minutes with the president, would be mandatory national service. I think that there's so many young people who come out of high school who aren't quite ready for college, are a little bit lost, and that young people would very much benefit from 1 or 2 years of serving in the agency of something bigger than themselves, shoulder to shoulder with people from different ethnic, economic, sexual orientation backgrounds, different geography. And it could be everything from military service to working at a no-kill dog shelter, to being a smoke jumper, to working in a national park, to senior care, health care. But I think the best thing we could do, or one of the best things we could do for young Americans right now, is just show them how wonderful other Americans are and try and restore some of the connective tissue between Americans. 1 out of 2 people my age feel good or great about America. It's only 1 in 10 young people. And I think a way to create connective tissue would be national service legislation in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the Great Society, civil rights, etc., women's rights, is that most of the people actually elected representatives had served in the same uniform. They saw themselves as Americans first. Mandatory national service, that's what I would try and talk to them about.
Oh, yes. We all raised our right hand and said, we will support and defend the Constitution and America, foreign enemies. You know, the words, the key words. This is all cloud fluff awesome. You see the best of Americans. I can say yes, but then I've also seen the worst of Americans. And I'm like, wait. So you raised your hand, signed some papers, went to do a duck walk in your underwear, had somebody check your butthole out, and now we're sitting here and you can't even show up on time when you said you wanted to be here? Oh, I mean, I think service is great. I do think service can help a lot of people, and we've had a lot of good come from veterans, but look at this as like, everybody should serve in the military. I'm like, not really. And then when everyone's like, we're going to have a draft, oh my God. I'm like, dude, I have a hard time dealing with people that said they wanted to be here. So when I have to train or somehow think of the idea of getting people that don't even want to be here, it's going to be even harder. Talking about people serving as veterans, it seems like this Army veteran that just recently retired has made a big fuss about their experience at the VA, because it looks like there's a bigger energy, war going on, where how many years did you serve? What war were you in? As we know, the military likes to do, is someone always had it tougher than you.
20-year career. While exiting my 20-year career, I'm at the VA, and I learned that a majority of the men wearing all the hats and the pins and the badges only have 4 to 6 years of service. Not all, okay? But the people at the clinic told me that. Really? Okay. So years later, I'm at an establishment and there's an elderly gentleman. He said, do you have a veteran discount? And I said, oh, thank you for your service. I'm a veteran too. What branch did you serve? He said, Army. I said, me too. And he goes, What war were you in? Just like that. I said OIF and OEF. And he goes, oh, that wasn't the good war. And I don't know what the fuck he said after that because I was so pissed. Because what war is a good war to be in?
Not real wars? Like, is this really where we're at? Like, I thought veterans could love and appreciate anybody that's willing to take up the torch. Like, we can't be like, let's be in constant war. Let's have our legs almost blown off on a regular basis. I need to prove I'm on the brink of death every second, including in basic training. Hell, even make it a war zone at MEP. Maybe that will filter more people out. I'm just like, whoa, we got to stop this bigger D energy here or there. We really do. By the way, I have to say, don't you love that Minnesotan accent? Play that clip again.
Said after that because I was so pissed.
That one, I mean, it just comes out when people are angry. It's so funny when people are angry, they result back to whatever their, origin of dialect or whatever English they have. But I put it down to the fact, like, if you do 20 years, you have time to decompress. You're like, whoa, my life is more than this. But for some reason, when you do a short stunt of it, it's like they double down or never actually decompress it. And they don't have that time to just see that, like, okay, this is not who I am. It's just a part of what I've done. But let's roll to the next clip because people judge book by covers.
You can't fake your way through butts. I get thrown into a class and there's this young Korean kid, true to the type, and he was just very soft-spoken. Stature wasn't overly impressive. And I just sort of made a snap judgment based off the kid's demeanor that I'm like, oh, this kid's not going to make it. I didn't pay attention, wasn't rude to him, was nothing but kind and respectful, but sort of discounted him. But his name is Dr. Johnny Kim. Made it through our BUDS class. We both went to SEAL Team 3 together. I watched the action where he was awarded the Silver Star, earned another Bronze Star for Valor. Then the Navy said, we want to make you an officer, sent him to the University of San Diego, where he got a 3.98 in mathematics. Went on to Harvard to become an educated doctor, and then somebody joked about submitting an application to NASA. He didn't think it was a joke. He submitted one out of 18,000 applicants. He was one of 12 selected, and now an astronaut. I was so very wrong on my snap judgment of this young man, now not a young man anymore, but what we didn't know, and he didn't tell us until close to, I'd say, 17 to 20 years after, was that he faced a lot of adversity in life. Very abusive dad, alcoholic. I believe it was his junior year. He finally made a decision that he wasn't going to put up with it. Stood up to his father, called the police. The police came to the house. The dad had not left the house. He'd went up into the attic. Johnny went into his room where the attic was located, saw that the door was slightly off kilter. Told the police he thought his dad was in the attic. His father had a gun. And the police shot him naturally as he pointed the gun at them.
This is crazy because a lot of people look at Navy SEALs, and my experiences with most of them are they are not big stature. They look like the physique or build of like a swimmer, if I will say. And it's just not like yoked, you think, beyond belief. But now speaking to this, like Johnny Kim is kind of one of those people that is a legend that doesn't need to talk about being a legend because he went from like Navy SEAL, enlisted officer, like did all the things he said. And then now he's a NASA astronaut. Like the legend speaks for itself and you never hear anything bad about it because it's like the dude is just doing, right? Like that's just what it is. He's not writing books. He's not doing podcasts, like maybe a few here or there, but it is not to the degree of like, look at me, I'm the traditional, need to tell everybody about it. What I think most people would expect from a silent professional. And I will say for the trauma situation, it goes one of two ways. People that come from very bad home situations that join the military because socioeconomic status, trauma like Johnny Kim has suffered, they go either really good and they thrive in the military and they use that as like, I just need a basic foundation to go in a good direction. Or it can be that they have no foundation and it's very hard to build off of, and that can still go down. It's very crazy, very divisive. I'm not saying that's always the case. It's just what I see happen a lot of times. Tell me what you guys think about these issues of big D energy as people are, comparing themselves and racking and stacking at all times in the military service, and kind of what you're seeing online right now. But as always, let me know down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.